Welcome, Leo. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I pulled for your overall energy the Page of Pentacles. I've been looking at the dance between planets Venus and Mercury, both doing a very similar retrograde process from Aries back to Pisces, then moving forward again into Aries. Venus started sooner in a 6-week transit, and Mercury started more recently, is just starting, over a 3-week period. So Venus's longer transit is wrapped around Mercury's shorter transit. But what this is bringing to mind for me is the way in which you are identifying your value, finding value, and understanding that you are making some adjustments to the way you understand your gifts, your purpose, and that you are using this as a way of identifying yourself and what actions are necessary for you to start, to begin, how you're communicating that being foremost, how you're sharing information, how you're planning to move forward with this new version of yourself, this new identity alignment, this new connection to a resonating talent or gift that you have. The Page of Pentacles shows you anxious to jump in with 2 feet. And it feels a little bit premature because I do think with the newfound wisdom, sense of calm, and poise that you are in the process of making, the decisions that you're understanding, the sense of a larger purpose or plan, fitting yourself into that in terms of being a benefit to the world, to your community, to your family. You're ready to get going. You're ready to do whatever it takes to learn what needs to be learned, to make the connections that will help you to open up to a new experience of prosperity, security, and stability in, of course, a very unstable, insecure world. I think that this is something that I say premature only in as much as you're still making big life decisions and alignments in your spiritual space. And so I think you're wanting to learn more about the changes that you're actually engaging at this time as a precursor to understanding what needs to be done. And I think you're open to all of that, particularly as I don't feel that the idea of going back to school or entering a new training program or having to learn a new set of skills or a new organization or environment is particularly appealing to you. I do think that this is along the lines of what you've been contemplating as the most efficient and empowering way to begin something new. How do I find out from those who know what is needed? This is a general reading, Leo, so it's not going to resonate for all of you. If you're interested in the personal reading, information for that is in the description box below. And I welcome all of you that are new, those of you that are familiar with me, and the time that you're taking to spend with me is very important. So your present energy, the Judgment card, reads, I understand that everyone has their own unique challenges and gifts. So this is really sort of underlying the idea that you're still making huge, you're still taking in this idea of a larger plan that you're a part of. I think you're in the initial stages of looking at the world through not only your own eyes, but through the experience of, for example, loved ones or people that you work with, or recognizing that you're a part of a larger world that constitutes more than your own needs and desires. And that can be a lot to take in, a lot to realize that whatever struggles you've had uh, can be mirrored by those around you. You can also get a sense of tremendous privilege relative to those around you, and really not minimizing the struggles, the trauma you've experienced. Many of us that have experienced trauma, particularly early in our lives, have a hard time squaring the idea of abuse, excuse me, violence, poverty, with the experience we had from what we consider to be loving family members who may have had problems, who may not have always treated us in the best ways, but it's hard to make that leap into understanding truly trauma and its impact throughout our lives. So it's important to know that it doesn't have anything to do with poverty per se, and it has very little to do with um, a sense of having been physically harmed. So those are things that often make those of us that have experienced a variety of traumas have a hard time seeing ourselves as those people who have been absolutely harmed at so many levels by abuse. So this is part of what you are letting into your higher consciousness, what you're allowing to build your awareness of the options and opportunities in your world. In the past, we have Cobra. From the Wild Elemental, I have pulled the lovely Cobra card that is aligned with the fire element. This is your element, and I will read you a little bit about how the Cobra card is described. The keywords are soul guide, moving quickly, memory of the soul world, transmutation of the soul, past life memories, and wisdom of the goddess. And for those of you that do chakra meditations, yogic healing, you're very familiar with the Kundalini power and how the cobra, even in ancient Egyptian spirituality and religion, was an emblem of wisdom, sacred wisdom. It reads, Cobra poking his head into your life is showing you that soon unexpected opportunities will be showing themselves, and you must be prepared to strike quickly. Do not pay too much attention to what others think about this. Hone in on your intuition and move quickly, swiftly, and decisively. Alternately, are you stuck in seemingly impossible to break fixation on something or someone? Snap out of it. This is preventing you from taking advantage of all the promising opportunities that are around you. You need to see them all. I like this. So again, what is being emphasized is qualities here that have been seeded in you in the past. This is about your potential, and what aspects of these are you grasping and holding on to. And I think it's pretty obvious with the Judgment card here that you are looking at the wisdom of the goddess energy. This is where you verify and reify your value, your principles, the things that are important to you. You realign yourself with those things, and that you are learning afresh how to share your ideas and your values in a way that invites participation in your relationships, invites building and creativity, rather than puts up walls around you. In the future, the Truth card is shown by the turquoise, the lovely turquoise, which controls our throat chakra, how we express ourselves, what stories we tell ourselves and others. And the key word being truth, speak from your heart. It's the only thing worth listening to. So the emphasis here is on validating who you are, not who others are, what others think of who you are, what you think about others. This is on aligning with your own values, those that you are now coming into a much fuller idea of their point, their purpose, and your purpose as a result. So in the Judgment card in the present, we have the 10 of Swords. And I think the connection here should be pretty obvious to you. Getting to the state of uber consciousness, this heightened awareness, this connection with your higher self has been a long and arduous labor of love. The love is self-love. That's what's operative here. And it's the self-love that has urged you to consider how you are respecting yourself, how others are honoring your boundaries, your requests, your desires, and how you have conformed to the needs and the expectations of others habitually throughout your life. Some of you have incredible privileges, gifts, and talents that make it very hard to go your own way. As an example, I think of someone who is excessively attractive, very beautiful, articulate, how it is difficult to resist the expectation that you would go into a career in which you perform or you're out front or where your presence is a factor. And so the pressure to do that when you obviously have something that others that don't have the attractiveness that you have are able to be successful. But how much easier could that be for you? That's an example of a way in which we sometimes conform to what others expect because it seems logical to us. You're still in that frame of beliefs and ideas that are part of the status quo. And really challenging those has been deep for you because you couldn't just challenge something that appeared to be a form of protection or love from others, supporting you to cultivate the talents, the skills that would amplify your magnetic presence. But it's also about understanding that those things never fulfilled you, never gave you what you were questing for, a sense of purpose that is meaningful to you, and did not allow you to exercise your talents in a way that benefited you or others. You were benefiting someone else. You weren't in control of your own production. And so this is really recognizing that those expectations are not designed for your happiness. They're designed for someone else's happiness, someone else's safety or security. In the past, the cobra is clarified by another 10. So this is simply reinforcing the idea that you are in a major transition and change, like most of us at this time. And this is a particularly rich time for you because collectively we have an opportunity to truly pierce through the experiences that have gotten us to where we are now, to where we presumably want to be, understanding that we're in the right place for who we are and what we want to do. The Ten of Wands is emphasizing that you have released any sense of responsibility to others that is false or misguided. This, at the most superficial level, it can look like not caring what other people think. And that can be negative, but that can be incredibly liberating. When what others think, you already know. They think you should do something different than what you're doing, or why don't you do that, or why don't you do this? That becomes burdensome, overwhelming, and not helpful. It's just a form of pressure that you are experiencing after a while. You've done all you can to conform with what you believe is expected of you, particularly in the variety of roles that you hold. So if you're a parent, if you're a colleague, if you're a supervisor, if you're a leader of a group or a club, whatever the various roles or hats you wear, you have been compelled by the expectations of others, the to do rather than the being. And in your future, where you have the turquoise, the beautiful truth of your throat chakra, telling your story, we have the King of Swords. And I like this. You've gone from a page to a king, which indicates you are really exploring fully the potential of your ideas, of new ideas, of your truth. You're really getting an inside sense of what your truth means for you on the ground. This is about doing the things that are practicable to get you towards your goals, to identifying the right goals for you, being in conversation, being curious about what that means. There's no feeling here of a fixed thing. This feels more like a transition you're in, that you're exploring. You're open to change, and in pursuit of that change, you are open to new ideas. You're connecting with people you might not often have connected with in the past. You're seeking out conversations and discussions where you may have felt irrelevant or marginal in the past. You're now understanding that you can think out loud in a group in a way that's productive. And this is something that is more and more attractive to you. Perhaps recording, journaling, documenting your experience has become more and more critical to this experience of transitioning. Although it can still be unclear as to definitively what you're transitioning towards. So this openness to the truth, this continuous drive to research, to ask questions, to know more, and to ask experts or ask others like yourself is really driving your growth at this time. I'm going to finish up your reading right now, Leo. If this content has been enjoyable to you, please check out this content here for more. And until next time, namaste.